What's going on, people of YouTube? I'm Steven with Purpose Lens Photo and Media, and today I'm going to give you all of my settings that I'm using, and it's not going to matter at all. I'm going to tell you why. So a lot of the questions that I see on forums like on Facebook and even on this YouTube channel are questions that are in regards to settings. What settings did you use? What picture profile did you use? What was your f-stop? These sort of things. Now, on the front end, these seem like good questions. I mean, after all, if I tell you the settings I use, right, then you can go and take those same settings and get the same look, right? No, that cannot be farther from the truth. And I'm gonna show you why that is the truth and why that's the case. So right now, I'm shooting on a 16mm 1.4 lens. It's a Sigma. And my settings are, let's look. They are 1/50 is my shutter speed. My aperture is at 1.4 and my ISO is at 100. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this camera here with the exact same settings and I'm gonna go into another environment. I almost forgot to say, my white balance is right around 5600 Kelvin. So again, I'm gonna take my camera, I'm gonna go somewhere else with these exact same settings and let's see what happens. All right, so here we are, exact same settings. Nothing has changed. All I did was go to a different room. We're still shooting at shutter speed of 1/50, 24 frames per second, 100 on the ISO, and aperture is at 1.4. Nothing has changed. I'm just hand holding the A6400. Other than that, everything is exactly the same. So let's go back. Okay, so what you saw is everything was thrown off. Nothing was the same. It didn't look good at all. And this is the problem with asking for settings. Now, understand that people want to understand or people want to get a certain look. But what you have to understand is unless you have all the lighting and the exact same setup and everything is identical to what I'm using here or what someone else is using, you will not get the same look just based on settings alone. And the reason why is just there's too many variables. There's different white balance. There's the distance that the light is from me. There's the actual intensity of the light. You have different types of light where there's incident light or reflectant light. Reflectant light is light that's bouncing off an object and hitting me, or incident light is light that's coming directly from the source to whatever it is that you're shooting. So like this light here is directly on me. This would be incident light. There's another light over here. It's partially hitting me, but some of it is bouncing off the wall and coming back. So it's a mix of incident and reflectant light. So all of these things matter when it comes to getting a certain look. So that's why asking for settings is really not going to get you to what you want, even though it seems logical. I mean, you would say, okay, well, if you saw a room full of balloons and you ask a person, hey, how did you get that balloon that way? And they say, well, I blew it up. It seems like it would make sense to just take the balloon and blow it up, right? Yeah, in that sense, but we're talking about something a lot more complex here. So I think a better question to ask instead of what settings are you using or what are your settings is how did you arrive at the look that you have? What was the thought process behind it? Let's say I want to shoot a film, right? And I say, I want to get a moody look, right? I can't just tell you settings. I have to know more about it and I have to understand what look I'm trying to get. Is going to entail, okay, well, what lens am I going to use? What focal length am I going to use? What type of lights am I going to use? What color temperature am I going to use? And what am I trying to convey? What is it that I'm trying to get across? So the composition of the shot, which is how it's actually put together, what's being shown, what's behind me, what's in the foreground, what's in the background. All of those things make up a shot. The story, the dialogue, the audio, all of those things make up a shot. So when you just ask for settings, that's basically like saying, I want to make the same fry. This is probably not a good analogy, but you know, whatever. So let's say you wanted to make fries from McDonald's and they just gave you the ingredients. They said, here are all the ingredients that goes into our fries. Chances are, even though they gave you the ingredients, it still wouldn't taste the same. And the reason why is because you have to mix the right amount, you have to cook at the right temperature, you have to pull it out at the right time, and you have to do everything according to a process. And if you don't have the process down, knowing the ingredients doesn't matter. The same is true for photography and videography. If you don't know the process behind everything, asking for settings means absolutely nothing. Now, I'm not against any people who sell LUTs or anything like that. Hey, listen, if you want to use a lookup table that gets you closer to whatever it is that you're trying to shoot, great. But I would recommend that you guys try and make your own LUTs. And the reason why is the same thing we started out with, which is if you get a LUT and you shoot where your color temperature is different than someone else's, or the lighting is different, more than likely it's not going to work. You can even do this in your editor that you have now. More than likely there's some stock LUTs in there that you can use. Shoot something and throw a LUT on there and see what happens. Most of the time, it's not going to fit what you need. That's not to say it's never going to work, but most of the time, and if you're trying to be creative, that's not the route you want to go. So again, people, I hope this was valuable to you. Those who are not subscribed, go ahead and click below. There's going to be a ton more videos like this where I'm just giving you guys tips. Wednesdays are quick tips, which is today, and then Sundays I usually do longer videos. But hopefully this was helpful to you guys. And if you still have questions about what settings I use, that's fine. You can ask me. But I just want you guys to know that that is not going to make you a better videographer or photographer asking for settings. What will make you better is understanding how to get a look. And there's no way around learning your ISO, your aperture, your shutter speed, proper exposure, proper framing, lighting. All of those things have to be learned if you want to get good. Once you learn those things, then a lot of times you don't have to ask what the settings are, because you can look at it and you know in your mind what you need to do to get that look. Not just the settings. Even if you're in a different place, you can adjust your settings so that it looks like what you want. Like if you see another video, you can say, I want that look, and you can create that look because you understand how to compose and you understand all these things. So again, if these videos have been helpful to you, go ahead and feel free to click the subscribe button below. It lets me know that these videos are helpful to you guys. So again, thank you to all of the people who have been with me and rocking with me from the beginning. I greatly appreciate it. But anyway, until next time, I'll holla at y'all later. I'm out. Peace.